We good? Yay, I think we're live. The internet can totally see you now. There's still quite a delay. Good evening everybody, this is Mike from Mikesunboxing Reviews and How To, and that over there is Kath, helping out as per usual. She's looked up all startled now as if the camera's going to be on her, which it is going to be in a minute, which is going to upset her greatly. Glad you can all be with us tonight. Now, tonight is a pretty special occasion. I'll actually just say hello to people in here. Who we got? We got Welsh Tony, we got Kath Churchill, and we got Tuscany. Tony, good evening. Very good to see you again. And Tuscany, wishing you a very, very happy birthday, young man. Hope you've had a very nice day. Did you bunk off school? Do you use words like bunk off in America? Or is it like skived off school or something? I'm gonna unsub, only for now. That's right, I'm on 4001 I think, so unsubbing will be alright. I'm still hit the 4K. What's a bunk off? A bunk off is bunk off as in like a bunk bed, you bunk off. So if you're not going to school, you're doing a bunk or bunking off. Truanting, that's probably what you call it in America. We call it that as well, truanting. I'm playing truant. Basically, I ain't going to school. Today I don't feel like doing anything. They should make a song about that. Anyway, just got the notification. Hi Harry, how you doing? Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Just started, Harry. Oh yes, it has just started. Now there is a little bit of a delay on this. I've tried to lower the thing that makes it less long or whatever, the gap between me talking and you replying and seeing it, but it hasn't worked, so maybe I'll try something different. Now I've got something new for you guys. I've actually got multiple cam. So, hey, how's about that? Okay, that's enough of that. But unfortunately, every time I want to do it, I've got to turn around and press the keyboard because I've got too many computers around me and it's just driving me mad. And this is taking a while to set up. Anyway, so what have we been doing this week? What have we been doing? Well, yesterday we were watching the NVIDIA product launch, unveiling, both of those. Scrunch them together and you'll come up with a word. The NVIDIA product launch. So the RTX graphics cards, what do we think? Are we all rushing down to the bank to sell our worldly possessions so we can afford one? Probably not. $1,000 for the reference 1080 Ti, a lot of money. NVIDIA, yes, NVIDIA. Wow, Mike actually worked out how to use it. Now, that would be a stretch too far. I haven't actually worked out how to use it. I've kind of just, like if I do this, it goes completely wrong. I'm back. I need a mixing desk or something like that. Or an assistant who can do it. Kath. RTX is all hype, Aletta. Yes, it is, and good evening to you. Now, let's talk about the product launch if we can for a little while, because we're all kind of tech nerdy type people here at the moment. Well, I think we all are. I'm pretty sure we all are. Otherwise you wouldn't be watching Mikesunboxing. But anyway, moving on. So, lost my train of thought now completely. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, let's talk about the graphics card. So, ray tracing, is it going to make any difference to you guys when you're gaming? Now me personally, I'm more for frames per second rather than visual quality, so I'll quite happily turn off anti-aliasing. I'll quite happily turn off motion blur. Motion blur I hate. It ruins the games for me, especially in things like Counter-Strike where you want as much clarity as possible. I'll put those settings right down so it's as low as it'll go. What do you guys do? Now I do apologise for the noise in the background of the cooker. That means that George's pizza is ready because he only finished work at 8:30. So we had to go and collect him again because being good parents, we kind of do that sort of thing. And he's just put his pizza in the oven so he can sit down in front of his computer upstairs and completely ignore what his dad is doing on the internet. And probably vape all over the pizza. Good evening, Mike, and everyone else. Yes, Aletto. Now a few more of you are in here in the chat. Please, all of you, wish Tuscany a very happy birthday. It's his birthday today. I think he's, Kath, how old do we say he was? 14? He's 14. I hope you don't mind me saying that, but if you do mind, I've kind of done it already, so that's my bad. I do apologise. Out of interest, actually, what is the sound coming through like? Am I coming through loud and clear? Am I too loud, or is it boomy, or what's going on? I've just wired my microphone, the BOYA mic, which I did a video review of ages ago, and I've got it plugged into my Lumix camera, so it's using the preamp in there, and then it's booming straight out through into the HD60 capture card, and hopefully coming out to you nice and clear. It's fine. No, Harry, it's fine. Right, I'm going to take that as it's being okay, and the fact that none of you have kind of dropped off yet, then I'd imagine it is okay. So that is the reason why, actually, in the corner, where is it, down here somewhere, I think, or is it there? You can see some bars, some sound bars for the microphone levels. Unfortunately, there's nothing else I can do about that. It's there, and down here somewhere. There's nothing I can do about it. As much as I've tried to get rid of it off of the... Oh, actually, I can do it. I can go into the menu and turn it off. I'll do that for next time. Although it's quite handy, so Kath knows I've actually turned my microphone off and I'm not just talking to myself. Southie. Hello, Southie. Good evening. How are you? Using the Kolink. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. Told you, it's a great case. I really am pleased with that. Now, I'm not going to say too much because obviously I've got the Rio Toro CR500 to do, which I'll be doing hopefully later on this week. So we'll do some discussion and some results on that on Friday, on Friday's live stream, if you're all up for the live stream on Friday.
Oh yeah.
Which George is looking forward to, obviously. We're going to do that about 9 o'clock, hopefully again on Friday. As per usual, we'll try and keep it to a usual time slot. Sticks. Yeah, that's a very good idea, Tony. I like that idea. You guys can't see that, but yes, that's a good idea. So anyway, I'm digressing again. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the RTX launch. What do we think about ray tracing? It makes games look pretty. Okay, fine. Is it worth an extra $200 or $300 over the asking price of the 1080 or 1080 Ti or 1070 for that matter? Is it worth the extra money? Do you think you're going to get value for money out of it? Or are Nvidia basically screwing on the pooch once again and taking us all for mugs? I know they put the price up artificially, it's easy for me to say, artificially, in order to kind of allow them to still sell their inventory of the 1070s, 1080s, 1080 Ti's, because there's a lot of them still out there on the market. And they don't seem to be coming down in price either. Although I have noticed a few, but it's very minimal. I'm going to buy that 1999 supercomputer. Yeah, it's only 3,000 monthly payments as well. And Kath's just holding up my board in the background which says to say, hi Leroy. Good evening, Leroy. I hope you're having a good time. Or not. Actually, you're probably not having a good time if you've had to come and watch this. Jesus. Is there nothing else on telly this time of night? Tuscany. Oh, so Tuscany, you did call the number, did you? I was tempted to, but I thought because it's an American number, long distance is going to hammer my my mobile bill. Ray tracing is not worth it to me, from a letter. Yeah, I think I agree. I've seen the before and afters. I watched the entire launch video. I tried to laugh along with his jokes when he cracked them, which I did actually pick up on, but I don't think the audience did. I don't know whether it's a kind of a German thing or not, but hey, anyway. But yeah, I watched the entire launch and I was very surprised that they didn't do any frames per second benchmarks, and they didn't do any direct comparisons between the 1080 Ti and the 2080 Ti for some bizarre reason. Now, the only reason I can imagine they didn't do that is purely because the frames per second are not going to be vastly different between the two. Yes, the audio, the visual quality is going to be nicer, but I don't think the frames per second are going to change. I really don't. I can't see that happening. Don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments there. But I don't think, like Tuscany has said, ray tracing. God, I'm having trouble today. I've just had some cereal and my mouth's all dry. I've got a cup of tea, but it's red hot, so I'm not going to drink it. Oh, Adam's joined us as well. Good evening, Adam. How are you? Good to see you. It's like IPS versus TN. Yeah, I suppose this. I suppose that is a good thing. I'm not too sure about ray tracing. I really don't. It's one of those things that when I watched the video and I watched the Tomb Raider bit, and when they turned the ray tracing on in the lighting actually looked to be overexposed. So it was kind of like highlighting the lighting rather than the lighting highlighting the characters and the other assets in the video. So to me, it looked a bit wrong, and I actually slightly preferred the look before the ray tracing. Yeah, the hard shadows, once they pointed them out, did look pretty awful, but the rest of it actually looked as if it was coloured correctly or lit correctly, which if you're watching this video and you see my lighting, then I'm probably the last person to talk about being lit correctly, but that's another story. What we got? So Tuscany 1050 Ti is still decent. Yes, it is, but comparatively with something like a similar price second-hand card like the GTX 970, 970 is well, probably twice as powerful. But if you want a newer card and you want to use less energy, etc., then yeah, definitely a way to go. After all, I've still got my GeForce GTX 1050 Ti up there on the wall, which I'm still yet to use, which is going to be used on Friday in the build, actually. So talking about that, we've talked enough about graphics cards. Realistically, I don't think any of us here, I'm not being disrespectful, but I don't think any of us in here have got the kind of spare cash to outlay on that kind of card realistically at the moment. As much as we'd all love to, I don't think any of us could realistically justify it. Justify? I'm not sure whose teeth I got in tonight. Anyway, I thought I'd quickly show you some of the things I've had delivered today and through the last day or two. So first of all, this is really boring, but a 4-pin EPS to 8-pin EPS. Now, if you remember previous videos where I used the old Logitech power supply to try and get the Intel system going, and I didn't use the extra 4 pins on the motherboard because the Novatech power supply just didn't have it. So I've bought myself an adapter. So I'm going to convert the 4-pin to 8-pin, and hopefully I won't be getting any problems on the new motherboard and processor, which I have ordered and has been delivered. Now, out of interest, I am actually going to spray paint this black because at the moment it looks kind of sucky, and we're going for a red and black themed build on the new build I'm doing. So that is going to happen. I went broke buying a 580. Thank you, Max. Mustard, ew. Yeah, but this is actually good because it's not ketchup and mustard. This is like black pepper and mustard, so it's not too bad. I was thinking about just putting some kind of wrap over it. What do you reckon? Or do you reckon I need to spray paint the ends as well because of that clear plastic? Because I think when that's put on a motherboard, which is a dark coloured motherboard, I think that's going to stick out like a sore thumb, even though it's kind of at the top. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, so I got one of those. That was only a couple of quid. That was a bargain. I ordered it yesterday, came today. So brilliant. What else have we got? So some of you have been in the chat on our Discord, which you're more than welcome to join. You ever use sheath cabling, Mike? A cable sheathing? No, I haven't, but I really would like to. Look really smart with heat shrink, or tidy at the edges. Okay, yeah, maybe I'll try that. I'm gonna look into it tomorrow actually and see how easy it is to take the pins out of the connector so I can put some kind of sheathing on there, which I think will look nice. We'll give that a go. So next up is the Kingston A400 SSD. Now you probably saw in the last live stream or maybe one of the videos, I bought the Western Digital Green, the M.2 drive, and pardon my French, but it was I didn't like it at all. It was rubbish. It was very slow, it felt sluggish, it kept on going to sleep, and for a main system boot drive, that's the last thing you want. Yeah, if it's a business machine or you're just on the internet or something, yeah, fine, whatever, you can deal with that. But if you're using it for a bit of media playback or gaming or whatever, no, definitely don't get one. So if someone offers you a Western Digital Green drive, if it's for backups and stuff, fine. But if it's for your main PC, give it a miss. They are slow, very slow. So anyway, that leads me on to this. I bought this. This is an older model actually, the A400. Obviously being SATA, it's a 6 gigabit per second up to 240 gig. Cost me less than 40 quid. So I think it was 38.99 or something. That was on Amazon again. So hopefully that is going to perform better in the system I'm building. So that came. I better not chuck that down. Oh, actually, I missed a trick there. There we go. That's enough of that. Right. Now then, this is the next part of the build. As you can tell by the label, this is from Amazon Warehouse. This is Amazon Warehouse still, as you can tell by the kind of almost perfect packaging, but with a little bit of a scraggy edge to it. But, oh, actually I've never opened this, have I? Hi Angel, and Michael, and Gran. Hey everybody. Oh, actually I'm on the wrong camera, hang on. Right everybody, if you could, please say hello to Angel Gamlin. That is actually my daughter, she's watching with us at the moment. And also with her boyfriend Michael. And also with Kath's mum and my mother-in-law, Pat Beezer, which you're more than welcome to go and try and friend up on Facebook because she really loves that kind of thing. I'm joking, don't do that because she will actually kill me. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Oh, it's going to be fun on Sunday. So this has been, I don't think it's actually ever been used. Looking at the packaging. Never been used, still got the sticker. Still got the factory sticker on it. So this lowly, humble processor is the Ryzen 3 1200. Which, yes, is not a powerhouse, and I know I could do better, but this was a bargain, under 60 quid on the Amazon Warehouse deals. This paired with the SSD, the Vengeance RAM that I picked up a good deal on, the CR500 case, I think it's going to do really well, and hopefully, well, it's unlikely, but this chip should quite happily go to 3.7 gigahertz. Base clock is 3.1, turbo I think is 3.3 or 3.4. So 3.7 isn't going to be necessarily too much of an ask, I don't think, which is roughly what my 2200G was doing, and that was like 80, 90 pounds. So 60 quid, bargain, we like that. So that takes me on to the last item. The ASRock Fatality AB350 Gaming K4. They did try to do a longer name, but it wouldn't fit on the box. So this is a pretty cool board. Now, at the moment, there's a bit of a theme going on. So we've got a Rio Toro keyboard, we've got a Rio Toro mouse, we've got a Rio Toro case, which is black and red. We've got our Kingston drive, which is black. We've got our mustard and salt cable, which doesn't really fit, but to go with it, we've got this. Look at this, this is another Amazon deal. Now this board normally retails in the region of about 80, 90 pounds. Got it for a bargain, I think it was 53 pounds, and everything's brand new. IO shield still in the bag, 2 M.2 drive connections, the SATA cables are still in there, everything's still in there, it's all good. So I think this is brand new. I'm pretty sure this is brand new. Yep, it's brand new. Brand spanking new. We love that smell of brand new PCB. So there we go, there's the board. Let's have a look, let's have a close look. Now on the board, we've got our M.2 at the bottom, we've got another M.2 there. We've got a lovely lovely, lovely heatsink, Fatality ASRock, and there are LEDs behind that which will illuminate it and bring it out. Got loads of slots. We've got loads of fan headers down the bottom here. Got our SATA connectors coming off the side, a couple more there, USB 3 on the side in a really nice place where I quite like those to be. 4 RAM slots, better than the 2 we had on the older Intel board. Moving around to the top, you've got 2 RGB headers, so you can use one for the RGB fan if you're using RGB fan, one to go to, I don't know, a cooler or whatever, case fans, whatever the case may be. But look at those heat sinks. Can you see those heat sinks? How cool are they? Sorry, camera focus. Those heat sinks are lush. I really like those heat sinks. And because of the Fatality branding, it's supposed to have a better pull rate for the keyboard and mouse, both on the USB and the PS2 connectors. You've got ELNA audio, which I still really don't know what it actually means, but it sounds cool, so we're going with that. But yeah, what do you think, guys? Nice motherboard? What are we saying? Do you think this? I think it's ridiculous for them to add gaming to everything. Yes, it is actually. Normally, anything that says gaming on it, I would actually ignore. Unlike my daughter, who's going to bed now, so I'm not ignoring you. Good night, God bless, sleep well, and good night, Michael, and good night, Gran. Oh, she don't like that either, I don't think. Do you? King Llewellyn, good evening, how are you? Welcome to the 4K subscribers anniversary celebration type stream. Hey? Yeah, launch party? No, it's not a launch party, what are we launching? 5,000. Oh yeah, we're launching the quest for 5,000 subs. So share this video to your friends, tell them about Mikesunboxing, tell them about Kath, because she's a dream. And actually I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see her. Oh damn, I didn't switch the camera over. She's safe for now. Looks nice. Guys, I got the Quadro RTX. Oh, that's cool. I'm really pleased for you, Tuscany. I'm glad you got something decent for your birthday. But anyway, what do you reckon, guys? Nice board, 55 quid or 53 pounds I paid for this on Amazon deals. Quite nice. And again, black and red themes, going with our black and red build. So hopefully it's going to go well. Now I'm not going to do the build live on the stream on Friday. I'm going to do the build bit by bit. I'm going to take my time in doing it so I don't wreck it. And there's going to be a lot of cable management and stuff like that to do. So I'm not going to do it on the stream. But I will have the finished product for you guys to see on Friday before I launch the video anyway, so you can see what it's like. I'm going to do some benchmarks. I might even do some live benchmarks so you can see how bad it is, or good it is. Forgot to mention 1050 Ti is also going in here, so obviously, although we've got outputs on there, the Ryzen 3 1200 doesn't have any outputs, so I've got to put a graphics card in. I was thinking GTX 970, but then I realised the power supply that I'm using hasn't got an extra connector, so I'm screwed there, so we're going with a 1050 Ti. So hopefully it performs pretty well. But I think really this board is ace, because you can upgrade a lot of stuff on this. A couple of graphics cards, much better processor, extra RAM. Yeah, the processor we're putting on is pretty, yeah, but it's a media PC, it's going to be in the front room. Yeah. What else we got? What was it? Crying out for 2 500 gig M.2 drives, just saying. I would genuinely love to have 2 M.2 drives in there, 500 a piece, especially if they're black and red, like ScanDisk, or I can maybe even squeeze in some Samsungs at a push, because they're quite black. But unfortunately, if I did that, that is basically the 2 drives would be the equivalent cost of the rest of the entire build. So no, if it was my PC with a nice processor and that, then yeah, I probably would, but I don't think I'm going to be seeing any M.2 drives on this for the foreseeable. And also because of the fact that the power supply I'm using, the Novitec 400 watt, and I'm slightly iffy about the power connector. I don't know whether having a couple of M.2 drives on there as well as the 1050 Ti, whether or not it's going to be drawing just too much power out of the power supply on those 4 connectors. So anyway, that is the motherboard. I quite like that. The board looks like a nice board. I got my eyes on the Gigabyte 450 Aurora Pro Wi-Fi. That is a nice board. That is the Pro Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's the ATX full size one with AC Wi-Fi built in it. And obviously the Aurorus RGB, which is really nice. Although the Gigabyte Aurorus, they've got a bit of an odd colour scheme going on. I know they're trying to be original, but they've got that kind of orangey yellow kind of thing going on, almost like the Asus Tough boards. Seems to be quite a lot of that. And then you've got Be Quiet with their kind of yellowy orange theme as well. Seems to be a lot of it about at the moment. Now, I think I'll pass this over to Kath to put away. Tony likes orange. I do kind of like it, but I don't know. If it's done right, it looks nice. Like I think it's Bitwit did one recently, and done a video recently. Sorry, I should explain. Bitwit did a PC quite recently with a Be Quiet case, and he had a lot of kind of black and orange going on. It actually did look nice. I was going to call it the Jaffa Cake build because it was kind of like that, but yeah, there is something quite nice about it. So what else have we got? I'd really like a whiteboard, but I haven't found a white B450. Aletta, spray paint, that's what it's all about. Just buy a really expensive board, go to your local car store and buy a can of cheap spray paint, just plaster it in that stuff, or better still, Tipex. They do Tipex over in the States, I guess they do. Just get a Tipex marker pen, Tipex brush, and just all over the motherboard. Sorry, Kath was asking me for the box, and she was doing all kinds of things. I thought she was having some kind of seizure or breakdancing. She's... yes, I do, Kath. Good memory. People call my car the Jaffa Cake, lol. What colour is it? Red and white? Right, so I can't think of really much else to say at the moment. Kind of wanted to just say thanks to everybody who's subscribed over the last 18 months or so. This channel we started, me and Kath, on the 21st of January 2017. So yeah, it's about 18 months, 19 months. So we haven't done bad. And actually, Kath was reminding me earlier on today that when I first started this channel out and I did the first video, which was my DeWalt 18 volt and mains powered wet and dry shop vac, which actually is a great product and you should definitely go and buy one. And if you do, use my Amazon links. We actually do use it quite a lot. I use it on the batteries when I'm out in the garden doing stuff, or in the car. We use it on the mains when we're cleaning out the filter on the washing machine. I want to say dishwasher, but you don't clean out filters on those really. Not with that anyway. I suppose you could do. Maybe that's the next video. But since that first video, I think the videos had about, Kath, how many views did it have? About 2,500. So it was the first video, and it actually didn't do too bad. I think it is. We quite enjoyed it, but you could tell on the video that things were a little bit kind of. I didn't really know what I was doing, but Kath has been really good, and she's been the cameraman and doing all the admin and stuff all the time for me. So thank you, Kath. Everyone, please in the comments say thank you to Kath. She's been very helpful. And Kath, she's telling me 2676 views I had on that first video, so nearly 3,000. So when you're done watching this, when you've got a few minutes, go and have a look at the DeWalt video and then share it with all your friends and say, this guy is a butthead, but please watch his videos because he needs more subscribers and needs more viewers. Now, speaking of which, more views, hopefully in the very, very near future, I'm not sure how very near, but very near, we're going to be hitting 2 million views. So that is going to be another real milestone, which I'm totally shocked and honoured and kind of humbled by as well, really. It seems odd that you can be just some normal guy in your house with a camera making videos and 2 million people have watched it. Although I'll probably a large majority of that has been me and Kath when we've been going through and looking at the videos and editing them and doing stuff like that. So I think all those views count as well. So take some off the total for that. But yeah, that's going to be the next milestone. So next thing to do is to push for 5,000. I ideally wanted 6,000 subs by the end of this year. So, well, for the year, January 21st. So hopefully we'll get another 2,000 subs in the meantime, which would be really nice. Hi Aletta, I have a face on radio. Mike, you should talk to your better half to jump in front of the camera from time to time. Hello, Kath. Do you know what? Now, all of you, you probably are in the same boat. You're watching this and you probably get tired of just seeing me just being a face on the camera. Wouldn't you rather have somebody else sat next to me so we're bouncing ideas off each other, and obviously it breaks it up a bit? What do you think? Should Kath get involved and get on this side of the camera? Comments, please. No, there's a radio pause like they do, and then nothing happens. There is such a delay on this stream at the moment, it's ridiculous. I'm watching it back, and actually if I turn this round, I don't know if you guys will be able to pick it up. There you go, I've just pointed to the camera, so that was about 10-15 seconds ago. This is why it's so difficult. I'm gonna have to try and reduce the latency, or something else. Maybe it's OBS doing it, I don't know. So, anyone got any comments or topics that you would like to see? Kath, I have a face that scares cats, but I still own cats. Aletta, that there is a parable? No, not a parable. What's the thing? You know, it's one of those things that explains stuff. Unlike me at the moment. Okay, so smile for the camera, Kath. There you go, everybody. Now she really hates me, and I potentially will be sleeping on either the couch or the floor this evening, or I'll have to roll over to remove the knives from my back. Oh no, I'm not going back to work. I'm curious to how much Kath knows after listening to you warble on about it for decades. Yeah, actually Kath has picked up on a lot, and I used to test her actually. Kath, what's USB stand for? Go on, say it out loud.
Universal Serial Bus.
Did you pick that up? Did you hear that? She did say it. Universal Serial Bus. Yes, go Kath. What's the other one I used to ask you? Can't remember the question, let alone the answer. No, Kath actually has picked up a lot, and when we're going through talking to different suppliers and stockists and what have you, and trying to beg them to send me shit stuff, you said a bad word there, sorry Tuscany. Yeah, when we're trying to get them to send stuff, then she does pick up, because she says, oh, what do they do? What do they do? What does that do? How can we use this? How can we use that? So she does pick up a lot actually, surprisingly, and I think with a little bit of encouragement, she could quite happily build a PC, which actually leads me on to another video thought. Kath has actually helped me build she has done a PC by herself. She just said she's done it by herself, and she used to install Windows for me when I was busy. I'd be building PCs, and I had quite a stream of them going through, so she'd be installing Windows while I'd be building the next one. So would you guys like to see on a live stream, possibly, maybe, or just a video, me showing Kath or assisting Kath with building a PC, but her taking the lead? What do you reckon? Good idea? Let's have a look at some more questions. C. McKnight's 1984. Were you born in 1984 by any chance? What is your best bits of build a this bit of that? That is actually what it says, I think. I've just read it out verbatim. What's that? Lol, she's lovely. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about the cat, which is currently licking its butt? Or the other one that is asleep? Or the other one that is hiding? Oh, she's so gonna kill me for that. game. Swear, getting a bit hot in here. 100% want to see Kath build a PC. Everyone's saying great idea. No. No, what was that? I didn't know what the answer to that was. Couch is good. Patio sounds good to sleep on. No.
You built that?
No, I built the patio. I'm not sleeping on that. It's like that. I'm not going to say what Jeremy Clarkson would refer to it as. No, Kath. What are they saying? No.
They don't want to see
Oh, they didn't want to see the cat, so they want to see Kath. Sometimes, for a relatively well-educated and
time delay.
yeah, you know what I mean. It's a time thing. I didn't get it because of the delay, like the delay up here.
Adam could have watched me build a PC at work that I took my case home.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, Adam, Blind Divide. You could have watched Kath because when Kath left work recently, because we used her chassis on the build in the office, we thought, well, we're not letting them keep it, so we dismantled the PC and put it into a really crappy old beige case and took our nice case home. So if you were there, you could have seen Kath build and unbuild a PC.
And Bernie is impressed with my paste too.
A letter. I'll type slower so you can get it, Mike. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's a shame actually on these live streams there isn't some facility so that people can actually speak back. Like speak rather than type in. That'd be really good. Okay, so this is how many we got? We got 10 people on here. We've got.
Like means from computer bits you have lying around.
Oh, well, sorry, it was meant from a computer build. So,
What's your best build?
what is my best build that I've done from PC bits that have been lying around? Is that what you're? What's that it? Prior to me doing builds on YouTube, or whilst doing builds on YouTube? Because I did actually work in a computer store years ago, a classic store called M Squared in Bristol in England, and at the time it was a competitor to Novatech, which are now actually a really big thing in the PC industry over here, whereas M Squared is kind of gone, sadly. Sad face. Anyone, okay, best PC I've built from spare parts, I would say is, what did I have? Right, spare parts wise, I picked up a i7 2600K, which was basically from this guy who probably smoked crack or something. He was off his face, and I bought that for £50. So I don't know if that counts. At the time, CEX, I think, were selling them for about 160, 170. So the guy just wanted 50 quid so he can buy some smack or whatever it may be. So that was great. I picked up a motherboard in the same kind of way to go with that chip for £15, which was from some nutcase on eBay. The RAM, I think, was RAM. It may have been RAM that I was actually given. And I got a feeling it was Adam from the Blind Divide, who is in the comments right now, who actually gave me the RAM that I used in that, I think. Was it around that time, Adam? Do you remember me talking about the i7 build? You might do, although you probably just fell asleep when I was talking. Yeah, that was the RAM. I think I used the RAM, so the RAM didn't cost me anything. The processor cost me like a third of the price. The motherboard, £15 was a giveaway. It was ridiculous. It was an was it Z97? Might have been an 87. I think it might have been an 87, but it was great. And with that, I used the onboard graphics temporarily, and I had a hard drive that was lying around. So that, out of kind of bits which was just lying around, that actually then became the kind of foundation of my video editing PC, which I used to do probably the good first maybe 100 to 150 videos on this channel. So all those little bits and pieces, and Adam's memory, and also the junkie that wanted 50 quid for a fix. Thanks to all them, and yeah, that was my cool little PC from basically bits that were lying around. Or I did go out and buy them, but I didn't need them really, because I had another PC at the time. Anyway, so hopefully that kind of answers the question. Ruffy's in the house. Can't see, my eyes are so bad. ML240 RGB versus NZXT M22. Good question. Too close to call, I would say. Pros and cons on both of them. I probably would go RGB. Not sure. Very close, very close. Yeah, I remember you doing that. No idea about the RAM though. Yeah, you definitely, I'm sure you did, because it was a friend of yours gave you it and you didn't need it because you had loads. And that was when you had your, what did you have? You must have had the 3770K, I think it was. And you just bought your Radeon R9 290. And you didn't need the RAM. And I think I'm sure you just brought it in and gave it to me. Because you're a very kind-hearted individual. And it actually smelt nice, the RAM, of vape. I think it was strawberry vape it smelt of. Or was it mother's milk? Could have been mother's milk. C. McKnight, 1984. My i7-27K Asus motherboard 16GB and thematic case cost me £546 6 years ago. Actually, for £545 6 years ago, that's actually a killer system. Adam, Christ alive, Mike, that's some memory. No, you gave me the memory. I just remembered you remembering that you gave me the memory. Ruffy, the ML240L RGB is 70 and the NZXT M22 is 100. Well, I would have to say in that case, because of the fact that what we are here about, what this channel is about, is good value for money and saving money where we can, then I think that kind of says it all really. The $70 has got to be the winner. Leroy Headley, any pairs? I'm not too sure what that refers to. Any pairs of undercrackers, shoes, cats? Got a pair of cats, a pair of beers. I'm not too sure. Ruffy, yeah, I'm going to get that in the future. Cool. Well, if you do, let us know how you get on with it. It'd be interesting to see what a fresh pair of eyes would be on it. So there's no questions in the comments at the moment, so let's go back to some other things. Now, what I want to know about is, there's, how many of you? 10 of you watching currently. So, antivirus. What do you use? Why do you use it? And is antivirus actually necessary on computers now with Windows 10? Hit it in the comments. Now I'll start off actually. I originally always used AVG for the longest time. When AVG, or Grysoft as it was at the time, I think it was Grysoft, when they sold out and became part of, I can't think of the other company they became a part of now. Damn it, it's gone. So basically, yeah, they sold out. So then I went on to, I think it was probably Avast, which Avast at the time was pretty good. Quite like that. And Avast was okay, but then it started to get bloated like they all do. I've used Norton once or twice, God forbid. Why I did? Oh, I know I used Norton because years ago, I don't know if you guys remember actually, when Windows 95 was out, no, yeah, I know, show me age, but you used to get these little CDs and they had like loads and loads of programs on it, and they had things like System Commander, Norton, Utilities, PC Anywhere possibly, Office 95, what else did I have? All sorts of stuff like that, and you could just go through a menu and pick what you wanted. So that's the only reason I used Norton and Norton Utilities. Anyway, I'm digressing on that. I don't use antivirus. I've only had one virus in the last 10 years. Leroy Headley. Oh, Leroy's come back. Any pairs of PC parts? No. I don't have two. Oh, actually, I do have two of anything. I have two of those Arctic cooling fans. I have. What else have I got? Oh yeah. Got two of those. Corsair Vengeance LPX, which is, that's what I forgot to mention actually, is going in the build with those. Notice the anti-static procedures being observed. What else have I got pairs of? I've got two GTX 970s, one of which is in that computer, which I'll give you a close-up on. This would be fun. So there we go, there's my GTX 970 in its full glory. Although I have upgraded it slightly with some Go Faster stickers on the side. So now it actually will render ray traces and much quicker than it did previously. Oh, and by the way, there's my new screwdrivers. Just put them on the wall, I don't think they're even straight. Look, they're completely pissed. So that's my Dexton screwdrivers next to my RX 970. Anyway, that's enough of that. So yeah, so I've got 970 in there. I've got a GTX 970 from EVGA in my computer over there, which I use for editing and a bit of gaming and stuff like that. I really want a better graphics card. Is it wrong of me to want a better graphics card? I don't use antivirus, it's unnecessary from Ruffy. Yeah, Bitdefender, Tuscany, hi. Hi Tuscany. Bitdefender because Windows nags me if I don't use any, and Bitdefender tends to just leave you alone. Yeah, I think I used to use Bitdefender at one point. I think I've tried most of them at some point or other. I remember back in the old days when you basically had no router, you just had a modem and a raw connection to the internet on the telephone line, and you had to have antivirus, firewall, and anti-spyware. And firewall. Has anybody installed a firewall on their machine in the last 5 years, 10 years? I used to use, I think that was Zone Alarm as well. Yeah, it was Zone Alarm from Grysoft, same people who did AVG, I think. That was a great firewall, but it used to get in the way because you try and go online to play Counter-Strike on your dial-up modem and you couldn't connect. So, anything else in the questions? Yeah, so antivirus, that's what I was getting at. Do you actually need it these days? Is there enough protection built in with kind of Chrome, Edge, Mozilla, all the others? Do they have enough protection built into them so that if you did click on something you shouldn't, will you still be protected by them? And also the fact that most of these apps run outside of the shell of Windows, that they're going to find it harder to actually do something nasty to the system. Who knows? But it's an interesting thought. Antivirus is probably what used to be one of the big boom industries in computing. Sorry about that. So Adam, I've noticed a few tech channels advertising some fancy looking firewall recently, weirdly. All right. I hadn't noticed that. I find that recently all tech channels are basically like VPN. Of course, Linus is doing the, who did he used to do? Tunnelbear, who then basically found out to be rubbish and gave away everyone's details, and then he went on to personal internet, which looked good, but still cost loads of money. 1080 Ti. I've noticed a few tech channels, oh I've read that. What can I do if the Xiaomi Defang 1080p camera doesn't scan QR code? Yes! A question that doesn't revolve around PCs. Now, you guys who are into PCs, you'll have to forgive me a minute while I indulge my passion for the Xiaomi Defang 1080p camera. If you haven't used one before and you want to get yourself an IP camera, definitely click on the links down below, go to GearBest or even Amazon I think, and get yourself a Xiaomi Defang camera. For £20 or $23 or whatever they are at the moment, they are the best IP camera with pan and tilt and all that other sort of 360 stuff They do 1080p recording, they do motion capture, they do time lapse, they'll alert you if there's an alarm going off. Like in the kitchen I've got one, and if the oven bell goes, to say your food's ready, beep, beep, beep. If that goes, if I don't realise it's going, the Xiaomi app actually sends me a notification on my phone to tell me that the kitchen's got an alarm going, and it takes a snapshot of what's happening and records it and sends it to my phone. So I can just tap on it and go, oh, that's cool, that's all right, it's the cooker's done. Rather than, oh shit, my house is on fire, which would be obviously a lot worse. But definitely check one out. So sorry, what was the question again? Sante, what can I do if the Xiaomi Defang 1080p camera doesn't scan phone QR code? There's a couple of things you can do. One of which is, actually I'm gonna have to try and remember this now because I'm a little bit rusty because I haven't had to reset mine for a while. If you do the setup again, but rather than just kind of wiping it, with the camera actually physically on, remove the SD card. It's a bit tricky to do, but remove the SD card whilst it's on, then plug the SD card back in and it will go a bit crazy and it'll start spinning around. But then you can press the button on the bottom to run setup and it will go through it again. Now, if it's not scanning the QR code, there's going to be a reason for it. Generally, it is if you have set up the camera or set up the app, on your phone, first of all, and you've set your region to something other than mainland China. Now, I've done a few videos on this. You must, without fail, whenever it asks you where you are in the world, always say mainland China. That's on the app, the setup, your phone, whatever it may be. Even when you're registering, say you're in mainland China, because these cameras have got a lock on them, a geo lock, so they will not work outside of mainland China. So if the server's wrong, or your locale's wrong, or your region's wrong, then it'll go through most of the setup. But when you show a QR code, the QR code is going to be for a different country that the camera doesn't work in. Now, there are other cameras that they do in their range, like the Xiaofang, that works around the world, no problem at all. You could get away with it, but the Defang specifically does not work anywhere outside of China. So that's something to do. Do a complete reset. If need be, uninstall the app off your phone, put it back in again, put your username and password back in, but make sure you choose the mainland China as your region. You can change the language after to English, that's no problem at all, it'll do that, but it has to be mainland China, otherwise you'll get all sorts of problems. Now, I am actually going to be doing another video on that camera again shortly for the people that have been having problems, because obviously you probably know as well as I do, when the camera is having a problem, it talks in Chinese, which I don't know Chinese. I like Chinese, I don't know Chinese, so it just says things and it says Xiaomi Defang. It's like, yeah, whatever, I don't know what's going on. So there is actually an English firmware hack you can do to make the camera talk to you in English. So that way, when there is a problem, it tells you in English so you know what the problem is. So that is going to be an upcoming video which I'm planning on doing. So if it doesn't sort out your problem by doing the reset and changing the region and locale, etc., look out for the video and then you can update the firmware and then you can get an English response to your problem. Hopefully that's answered your question, Asante, and thanks for watching, and it's nice to see some new faces. Ruffy, you passed my comment. Ruffy, tired and silly. Ruffy, what was your comment? I can't see it. Oh, is it the one I bought a kit for $240? It includes a, well, yeah, it is actually, yeah. Ruffy, I love you so. Ruffy, I bought a kit for $240. It includes a 1500X, 2x4 gigabytes of 2133 from Crucial. It's Crucial. MSI B350M Gaming Pro, nice board. Aletto, I like that because it says gaming in it. A Cooler Master T2 and 64GB M.2 SSD. What do you think about that? Based on the dollar conversion, which I'm not sure, is it pretty much 1 for 1 at the moment with the dollar? You have to let me know in the comments because I'm not entirely sure. Why have you brought that in? Oh, the, yeah, okay.
Do it like I'm back.
All right. Okay, where are we? Sorry, I got sidetracked by Kath. She is one of those people that just comes in and like a breath of fresh air and takes my breath away, and I just lose track of what I'm doing. Roughly, so what do I think of $240? So let's break that down. So a 1500X is what? Actually, 1500X, is that 1500? That's an R5, isn't it? So what's that, about $130, $140, I'm thinking, thereabouts. The RAM's got to be 80, so that's £80 over here, so probably another $100. So chucking the motherboard as well, realistically it's $80 to $100. Cooler Master T2, probably $20, $25. And a 64 gig M.2 SSD, probably 40, so that's probably only worth about, I don't know, $15, I guess. Not a great deal because it is quite small. So yeah, I think you've had a pretty damn good deal there. I'm not sure if my conversion rate on the dollars has gone right, but I would guesstimate from what I've just kind of in my head, you've probably saved about a third, maybe about $100, maybe slightly more, depending on what you paid for them, obviously. But yeah, sounds like you saved about $100. Good job. That is what we're all about here at Mikesunboxing.com. Value for money. And don't you forget it. Leroy Headley. Well, have I missed any other comments? What can I do if the Xiaomi Defang 1080p camera doesn't scan QR code? Yeah. Well, I'm really glad you've asked that, Asante.
No, sure.
Oh yeah, I'll show you on actually. I'll get it on my phone in a minute. I'll show you what I mean about the country. I think I can show you on there anyway. Adam, Blind Divide. Wasn't it Xiaomi that got caught recently using a DSLR camera photo and stating that it was taken by their phone? Yes, it was. I think it was actually. Was it? No, it was a Huawei, I think. It could have been Xiaomi. It could have been the Huawei. One of the two. It definitely had an eye in it. Yeah. I'm not too sure. I've got a sneaking suspicion it was Huawei, and they were referring to a shot they'd taken with the P20 Pro, but it was actually a DSLR. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments, guys. Someone quickly Google it and let me know.
I think Adam thinks it's a phone, not a camera.
It is. I know he's talking about something else because
he said 185.
All right. Adam Blind Divide, 185 to at the moment is $240. Okay, so $1 equals 0.78 pounds sterling. Thanks, guys. So you picked up all that stuff, so I'm just going to refer back to again. So 1500X, 8 gigs of RAM, motherboard, cooler and SSD for £185. Yeah, I think you've done pretty well there, buddy. That's a job well done. The only thing I would say is a bit of a nose with that is going to be the fact that you can't use Sense MI. If you could have used Sense MI with that SSD with the bigger hard drive, I think that would have been really, really cool. But a 64 gigabyte hard drive is really small and that will fill up pretty damn quick. If you just keep Windows on it, that'll be fine. Obviously with a secondary hard disk drive, it'll be no worries at all. But having such a small drive is going to be a real thing to kind of that'd be nagging in the back of my mind. I'd be thinking, have I got enough room? Have I got enough room? Can I do a Windows update? Blah, blah, blah. And I'd be constantly keeping my eye on it, which would drive me a little bit insane. But yeah, everyone's different. If that's all you got, then hell yeah, use it. It's much better to use that than what it would be to use a hard disk drive as a boot drive, because it's going to be a lot quicker. Asante. I'm a chameleon, we come and go. Sorry. Asante Phillips, thanks. I'll try your advice. And I also heard downgrading the Mi Home app might work too. Yeah, that is possible. Actually, I went onto mine yesterday when I was making a video, and I noticed there's firmware updates for the cameras at the moment, which is a pain in the butt because I've got 3 of them, so I've got to do 3 individual updates. Wish they'd just do it. But yeah, it might be worth updating the firmware as well. I'm not sure if you can do that from the app before you connect. You probably can't actually. Ignore that statement. But anyway, best luck. If you don't, Oh yeah, no, I was on about the firmware. But yeah, if you do get stuck, now that you've found us on this YouTube channel, let me know in the comments, or just send me a private message. You can do that on Discord, or you can do it on Facebook, or you can do it on Twitter and all that other kind of social media BS. Just send me a message, and I will do what I can for you, and we'll try and work it out for you. Okay? Because I'm a helpful kind of person, and I love you guys. Kath does as well. Kath, you love these guys, don't you? She says, yeah, she loves you guys. So don't you forget it. We love you guys. That is why we're here. Got choked up then, I do apologise. Tuscany Valley. I found a GTX 1080 for a trade, a GT 1030. Okay. So that is probably the same guy that I bought the processor off that was doing the crack or the heroin or whatever. I found a GTX 1080 for a trade, for a GT... Get it. Actually, no, you're 14. I was going to say, go out now, jump in a car, go and get it. But you probably wouldn't be very popular with your parents if you did that. So actually, what else were we talking about before that? So good value, blah, blah, blah. I was heading on to some other kind of thing. I can't think what it was. Oh yeah, we're talking about the antivirus. So basically, yeah, the upshot of it is antivirus. We don't really need it, do we? I actually do use the Microsoft one. I don't know what it is. I've always been such a Microsoft fanboy, and I can't let it go. It's really driving me mad. But the fact that it's actually built into the operating system, and I don't have to install something else, and touch wood, it actually doesn't bug me very much. Every now and then it must do a scan. I don't even know about it, and every now and then I get a pop-up saying that your PC's okay. So yeah, I kind of just go with it. But I wonder what companies like Norton and Symantec and all those kind of other bigger brands, how they're coping now that the tide is completely shifted away from kind of box sales of Norton antivirus and that. I actually did see on UK Hot Deals. Now, if any of you guys from the UK, check out UK Hot Deals. There's some really, really good stuff on there. If you go to the computer section and then click on Hot or New, just get some fantastic deals on there. The other day there was, I know it's probably not a deal if you don't want antivirus, but somebody was selling Norton antivirus, the 365 thing, which you can put on like 5 PCs, and it was £1 in a retail store. So £1. They normally sell it for a lot more than that, it's like £40. So UK Hot Deals, check it out, it's really good there. I always look there to see where I can get bargains from. That is in fact where I found this little gem. Really pleased with that actually. Hopefully that drive performs really, really well. And it kind of looks cool as well, don't you reckon? Sorry, forgot, little camera. Kath's reminded me. Do you reckon that's cool? That logo on there, kind of printed into it. Funky. Sorry, need another drink. Ruffy. What is a semi? Really? A semi? Well, there are multiple definitions of semi, one of which being a very large truck. I've got to read the rest. Oh, sorry. What is a semi? And am I going to buy... oh, God's sake, Michael. What is a semi? And I am going to buy a SATA SSD... Derivo, okay. What is a semi? I'm not even sure what I said. I'm not sure. I'm going to buy it. So Ruffy, that was the deal with the PC stuff on it. So a 240 gig SSD on top of that is, yeah, that is definitely a good idea. And $40 seems like a good price. I don't know if it's a great price looking at the UK prices, because we're about the same price for similar brands. So that might be, you might be able to get it a little bit cheaper if you shop around. Definitely because of the exchange rate. I'm not sure what SSDs are doing in the States, which I believe you are in. You must be, because you're using dollars. I never liked Microsoft that much. is the headline from a letter. That is a headline in itself. I never liked Microsoft that much. Come on, why do you not like Microsoft? Give me a good reason why you don't like Microsoft. I challenge you, being a Microsoft fanboy. Oh, there we go. Virus and threat protection. You couldn't have even done that better. Oh, damn, it's gone. I was going to get a screenshot of that. Typical, you talk about antivirus and not being disrupted by it, and all of a sudden up pops your Windows notification to say that your PC is clean of viruses. Fantastic. Actually, I'll read the rest of that comment. I never liked Microsoft that much. I have Windows 10 on my gaming PC, but I have Ubuntu on my writing PC. Okay, I've got to be honest, because I've worked in different computer places. I've tried Red Hat Linux. I've tried Raspberry Pi, the operating system on there, whatever they call it, Raspberry or Pi or Fruit or I don't know, some stuff. What else have I tried? I've tried various command line operating systems and I don't like those at all. Red Hat wasn't too bad. And to be honest with you, Raspberry Pi probably wasn't far off Red Hat in some respects. And I think I've used, what else did I use? There was another one. But basically, yeah, I don't get on with them. Windows, because I've used Windows since Windows kind of came about. I used DOS first of all, then I went to Windows 3.1, I think it was. Was it 3.1? Kath's nodding. See, she's picked up some stuff. Good Kath. Yeah, Windows 3.1, which was weird, but it was Windows, and I picked up Windows 3.1 from probably about the age of maybe 16, 17. So I've kind of, in my formative years, I've kind of grown up with the Windows operating system being the mainstream. And if you weren't using that, you were probably using an Atari ST or an Amiga, which are both using kind of windowed operating systems. So I think I've fallen into that trap where I know Microsoft Windows, or at least I think I do. So I don't think I could do without it. Mac OS. That's one I'm completely forgetting. Wash my mouth out. I actually quite like Mac OS. It's functional, it does what it does. It's not as flexible as Windows, and you can't get in to do things as well or as easy as you can within Windows without knowledge of Linux command lines or the actual operating system overall. You need to have quite a good depth grasp of it. But yeah, I think Windows is just really accessible. Maybe it's just me because I've been using it so long. What do you guys think? Windows 10 comes with the keylogger turned on. Well, I'm lucky because I haven't got anything really valuable, so they can have what they can have a lot. And also actually, this is one of my big arguments. I'm going to get on my soapbox here in a minute. My big argument with this whole kind of Windows 10 thing, when it came out, Windows 7 was great. I think there's no two ways about it. Windows 7 as an operating system was great, but it was showing its age. It didn't have a lot of support for a lot newer features, newer hardware, and obviously Microsoft decided to get rid of DirectX, whatever number we're on now, out of the equation. So that kind of forced the upgrade. And people were saying, oh yeah, the telemetry, the this, that and the other, it's really bad. They're watching what you're doing. I've got webcams which have servers in China. If anyone's watching me, they certainly are, or at least if they're not watching me, they're hearing me. And I've got a YouTube channel. I've got Facebook, I've got Twitter, I've got LinkedIn, I've got Pinterest, Tinder. No, I haven't, no. Kath's just saying words at me now. Tumblr, that's the one. Tinder. Freudian slip. So yeah, I've got all these things, Grindr, Tinder, all those things, and basically anything that Microsoft want off my computer about me, I'm already putting out there anyway on a daily basis. You guys, you've found me on YouTube or you found me on Facebook or whatever. Do you not really think that YouTube and all those companies know probably as much about you as Microsoft or anyone ever will? Really? That's what I'm an open book. All my information's out there. If somebody wants to know what I'm doing or what I'm looking at or what I'm browsing, fine, let them. Doesn't make no difference to me. Yeah, it's an intrusion of privacy, but we open that up. We openly submit to these things. You think 10 years ago, the UK government and the US government wanted ID tags for everybody so they could track your movement around. Now they don't have to, because we're all carrying around one of these. Your portable ID tag, wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, blah, 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 Facebook. I'm going on holiday, going to Spain for 2 weeks. You've just told millions of people, potentially, that you're on holiday for 2 weeks and your house is going to be empty, essentially. And yeah, basically, yeah, that's my rant over. I don't know what you guys think about that, actually. It's quite an emotive subject. A lot of people get really triggered by it. Me personally, I get more triggered about the people getting triggered about it, because I don't have anything to hide. I don't have any kind of secrets or anything that I don't want the world to know. If I did, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel, because you're kind of putting it all out there. But what do you guys know? What do you guys think? Honestly, I am intrigued to find out. Some people are really, really security conscious, and don't get me wrong, I completely applaud that. But if you're security conscious, hopefully you're not using Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all those other things, or at least if you are using it, you're not doing it logged in on a device with a username and password, because otherwise you're defeating the whole purpose. Ruffy, back in the house. You told me that I couldn't have or do CMI. Oh, Sense MI. Sorry, that's probably my pronunciation. Yeah, Sense MI is the new technology from AMD built into the new 2000 series processors. Now, with the, I think you also actually need to have the new B450 or 460 or whatever they call them these days. I'm losing my mind. Yeah, Sense MI is built into the new processors and motherboards, and it basically uses your SSD as a kind of cache to speed up your other drive. So say you've got two drives, a C and a D, it becomes squeezed together as one C drive, and it basically enhances the system, in theory. Although Linus did a video on it recently about Intel's Optane and Sense MI, and actually both of them are rubbish in comparison with this freeware program you can download, which you can check out on his video. I'm not going to go through that now, but I was going to try it out with a video myself because it does look rather interesting. But the software is £40, so I'd probably better off spending £40 on another SSD, and that'll speed up the system anyway. So anyway, hopefully that answers your question. Alexa, Windows 10 comes with a keylogger than that. My favourite Microsoft OS was Windows 2000. I don't have a smartphone for that reason. Fair play. That is a very noble thing in this day and age, this modern age of technology. To not have a smartphone is actually quite brave. I don't think I know many people that have a phone that don't have a smartphone. The only person I know, I actually do know somebody that doesn't actually own a mobile phone. Period. They haven't, they won't, they don't. They're a computer user, they've got broadband at home, they go on PlayStation 4, they play their games, go on computer, buy stuff on eBay, but he refuses point blank to have a mobile phone. And that's actually Kath's brother Lee, which I don't think he'll mind me mentioning it. He's quite proud of the fact. Nintendo Force UK. Hello, Nintendo Force UK. I have not seen you in here before. Who are you? Nice to see you. What's your question? What are the temps of PC? How are the Storm Force PCs? Storm Force PCs, I'm a bit confused. Do you mean... Oh, do you mean the Stronghold? Stronghold, maybe? The Kolink Stronghold? Is that what you're referring to? If it is, the temperatures are all good. Currently, actually, if I put the other camera along, down there, that's Kath's computer there, and if it ever focuses, hey, there we go. That's the Kolink Stronghold down there, currently beavering away, doing some rendering. Oh, and that CamCare ECG gel, take no notice of that.
That's for that flex.
That is for the ab flex, which if you haven't watched the video already, you should totally go and watch it, because the ab flex video was one of my finer moments, if I am bigging up myself slightly there. But it was a very enjoyable video and relatively humorous at the same time. And you get to see me in pain, so you probably enjoy that. The same as rapid storage. Leroy. That's my same as rapid storage. I'm not too sure what he means by that. The same as rapid storage. Was that related to the... Oh, I get it. Sense. You're referring to the sense in my question. I guess, Leroy. Don't know if I'm right there or not. I definitely need a haircut. Well, shave or whatever you call it. So, what time is it now? We've been on for an hour and a quarter. How many people we got on at the moment? Is it the usuals? We're down to 9 at the moment. Someone's gone to bed. Tony's gone to bed. He's probably got an early shift tomorrow because he's working nights last week, so he must be on days this week, in theory. Okay, so any more questions quickly before we call this a day? Give you a few seconds to mull it over in your head and pick out a real gem and test my knowledge. Oh, actually, that's what I was going to say. Aletta, going back to your favourite Microsoft OS. This is where this stream gets really sad. Guys, what is your favourite Microsoft operating system of all time? You can include the one you're using now. That's totally fine. But what is your favourite? Now, I'm finding it really difficult to judge between... I'm kind of with Aletta on that one. I would say Windows 2000 actually was the operating system that kind of broke the mold for me, because I didn't want to get involved in the NT kernel and all the extra files and storage that entailed and the password protections and all that kind of stuff. I really did enjoy the openness of Windows ME at the time, but it was one of those operating systems which basically crashed if you so much as looked at it. I remember playing Motocross Madness 2 on my Duron 600 with my GeForce MX graphics card, I think it was, and that game used to crash for a pastime. No, that was the original Motocross Madness. This is Motocross Madness 2. Sorry, I should have stated that. Yeah, me and Kath used to play a lot of Motocross Madness in 1998. I used to love that game. If anybody knows how to get Microsoft Motocross Madness working on Windows 10, let me know in the comments or send me an email or something, because I can't, and I love that game. We used to play it for hours. Literally, we'd play it for hours. Back in the day when we enjoyed, well, let's say smoking, and we would be there for hours. Our friends would come around and we'd just be playing Motocross Madness. We'd start playing on the evening, and then my mate Dave, that sounds like a really bad euphemism for something, but my mate Dave would get on his moped and follow the milkman home after we finished playing the game. Oh, sorry, following the milk van.
He was in a van. Oh,
sorry, he was in the van. Was he? I thought he was on his moped. I stand corrected. So let's see, what are we talking about? Oh, Leroy just commented, yes, that was about rapid storage. Thank you, Leroy. C. McKnight, Windows XP.
Favourite.
That is your favourite, okay. Yeah, Windows XP again was one of those kind of groundbreaking operating systems. It took all the good stuff from Windows 2000 and the kind of the openness and the accessibility from probably, I want to say Vista, but really it wasn't, it was the other way around. But yeah, Windows XP was great, and there's still a lot of people and actually a lot of machinery that still uses Windows XP to this day. Chances are, when you go to the cash point to draw some money out to buy your new RTX 2080 Ti, although you might have to go twice because they don't give out that much money in one go, chances are the machine that is running that cash dispenser, or what do you call it in America? They call it something else, an ATM. Although ATM in England is another thing altogether. But yeah, if you go to the cash dispenser, chances are that that is running on Windows XP. I completely lost my train of thought then, but yeah, Windows XP, the cut down version, runs pretty much, well, it used to run about 90% of all the banking terminals in the UK, and probably around the world actually, for that matter. Aletta, I liked Windows 8.1 more than 10. Harry, I'm back. You went to eat.
What do you have?
What'd you have? I liked Windows 8.1 more than 10. When 8.1 came out, I really liked it. I liked the new kind of interface. But 8.1 for me, I found worked much better on a phone or a tablet. On a PC, especially the first, well, Windows 8, I suppose, rather than 8.1, it was still a bit quirky. It didn't really know what it wanted to be. It wanted to be a desktop operating system, but it also wanted to be a touch system. And I think Microsoft moved a step too far too quickly. I think if they'd have held back and maybe added the tablet interface as a add-on, I think Windows 8.1 would probably still be around, possibly, well, maybe even now, or at least more so than it is now. But yeah, it was a really nice operating system. A few little quirky things though. Again, it didn't really know what it wanted to be. So if you were anyone who went into kind of like control panel or settings, like the UI would have settings, and then Windows would have settings. So you're doing things all over the place, and it was really freaky. Kath's smiling about something. I'm not too sure. What's she smiling about?
Harry.
Was Harry good actually? Yeah, I think I tried one of the more popular virtual machines. I can't remember the name of it now. That's how long ago it was. And I tried to set it up, but I couldn't get the DirectX hardware layer to translate to the older type of DirectX that was required for the game. Because if you look at it, it's a really old game. It's only like 184 megabytes or something ridiculous. But if you actually, this is my begging letter to you all. If you know anything about virtual machines or how to set them up, and you can find a way of getting Microsoft Motocross Madness, the first edition, to run on it, I will be forever grateful. Kath will send you a big kiss, and we'll be very, very grateful, and we might even send you a special gift as well. So if you can work that out, let me know in the comments or on one of the social media platforms, and yeah, I would be very grateful, and I'd be very nostalgic. Windows XP from Leroy. Leroy likes that. Yeah, Windows XP kind of, it was one of those game changers. It became something of a phenomenon. I think that is when we went from computing being a bit geeky and a bit kind of, well, I've got to have one for work or I've got to have it for gaming. When Windows XP came out, it became the point of, I need a computer at home because it can do this, it can do that, and it made life a lot easier. I think definitely Windows XP, did it come out in 2001? 2002 maybe? Around that sort of time, I'm not too sure. Might have been a bit later than that. But yeah, when it came out, it really was a kind of game changer for the entire industry. And it's probably given us what we've got now. But that's what I mean. We've all got our favourite operating system from Microsoft. So I don't hate on them at all because they do the TikTok thing. So good one, bad one, good one, bad one. They're kind of skipping a few steps now with Windows 10 because it's kind of a service now. But overall, I think Microsoft have given the world actually a lot of accessibility. You can imagine if back in the dark days of kind of Mac, where they were really hard to get hold of, they were expensive, Microsoft has allowed basically PCs to become mainstream. Without them, I think things would be a lot different. Anyway, Harry, I think I missed your answer earlier, but do you think they will make an RT 2030? Actually, that's a very good question. They never mentioned it in the release video. They only mentioned the 2070, 2080 and 2080 Ti. The 2050 and 2050 Ti, if they exist or will exist, I think that offers an interesting proposition depending on the price. I would imagine, depending on the uptake and what the silicon yields are like, there may or may not be a RT 2030. If the yields aren't great and they do have to kind of splice some of those cores down or chop a few bits off of the silicon to make them usable, then I think then we will see the 2030s, 2050s, etc. They may even throw in another model in between. They may even still do a GTX and just have the ray tracing disabled altogether. Whether or not they can do that, I don't know, because I think it's quite integral to the way the chip works. But Yeah, I don't know. Normally when they do their product launches, they don't release the lower tier models or actually even announce the lower tier models, and probably until a good few months after the initial launch, because they don't want people to get their hands on the new technology without forking out for it, which makes business sense. It pisses us off, but it makes business sense for them. And also the people that can't afford the higher end new stuff can buy the mid-range and lower end old stuff, so it serves two purposes. Hopefully that answers your question. KFC. Oh, you got KFC? Do you know what? I drove past the KFC tonight and they're doing some renovations. This is one in Filton near us. If you look it up on a map, it's great. And the drive-through was open, but the restaurant was closed for refurbishment. Or at least, I think it was that. Either terrorists or something, I don't know. Looked pretty deserted in there, but the drive-through was still working. So I was considering saying to Kath and George on the way home, should we go and get some KFC? But because the lights were off, it just put me off, so I couldn't be bothered to wait. And I had to get home for you guys, so because of you, I've missed out my KFC. I hope you're happy. Enjoy yours, Harry. Don't feel guilty. CMP, what do you think about cheap Windows keys? Are they scams? Now that is actually a brilliant subject. I'm so glad you brought that up. Oh, hot wings, damn you. Trouble is with hot wings, you get ring sting after, so gotta go careful with them hot wings. Cheap keys are normally alright. Yes, they are. I buy all my Windows keys for $14 and they work fine. Okay, so I'll let you in. I don't know if I actually mentioned this on the video last week. Yeah, please. I'm not sure if I mentioned it. Oh, there's lime scale in there. Right, sorry about that. Yeah, last week. Was it early this week? I really don't know. I don't even know. Is it? Are we in September yet? August? Cool. Okay, sometime earlier this month, Microsoft Mail. I've been using Microsoft Mail, again, because I'm a Microsoft fanboy and have been, and I don't like having two programs that can do the same thing. Yada, yada, yada. Been through all this before. But Microsoft Mail, OMG. How crap is that piece of software? It's good because it's free, but it's just so annoying. It doesn't do folders properly, or you create a folder and it doesn't send things there, or you can't just drag and drop an email into a folder. You've got to right click on it, send to, select the folder. It's really unpolished, I think it is. Whether or not Microsoft deliberately kind of put it to one side and say, oh, that's right, don't worry, we've got Outlook over here, boys, let's just look after Outlook. Outlook's doing well for us, we're making a few quid on that. Mail's fine for the scum who don't want to pay, which is fine. Again, it's free, it's part of the operating system, not a problem. But I refuse point blank to pay the subscription fee for Office 365. Now for me as a family, obviously it's me, Kath, George and Angel, the kids, and we have a spare computer here, there and everywhere. So to install it on 5 devices is going to be relatively expensive. So you have to get the family pack, which is like, I don't know, £80 or something. And then you've got to pay extra to do more. And it's like, that's year on year on year. So in like 5 years, I've spent £400 on Office, which seems a lot of money. Why they don't just offer you a subscription for a lot cheaper, I don't know, like £10 per head per person or something, to make it accessible to everybody. Well, I guess they're making money, so whatever. Anyway, I'm digressing. So going back to the Windows keys. Now, I went onto eBay and bought a Office 365 subscription, which isn't a subscription, it's the full package with all the apps, and it actually came with a legit, I hope, account. And the actual account, the email address for the account that I had to set it up on, you can change the password after, so it wasn't a problem. They gave you an initial login password, then you go in, you can change it to your own. It actually asks you the very first time you go in, it says, please change your password. So it's obviously some sort of volume licensing thing or some Microsoft internal thing, but these people are selling it. Now the email address was something at msoffice365.site. So I'm thinking, well, obviously someone's registered it, it exists, it seems legit. I paid £3.60. Yep, £3.60, and that license, I can use that to install on 5 machines. So that's less than £1 per machine to install Windows on. Now, even if it only lasts for a year, I don't mind paying it again next year, £4. Some people spend that on a coffee or a beer or whatever it may be. But for me, that's excellent value for money. The kind of, is it legal, is it illegal, is a massive, massive grey area, and you could look at it from both sides. I bought a service from a person, that person has provided me a service, so in that effect it's legal. Where they've got it from is another matter altogether, and whether or not it adheres to Microsoft's terms and conditions, again, that's another grey area. But as far as I'm concerned, I've made a payment to a person for a service. So in my mind, I've done my part of the bargain. What they've done is another thing altogether, and they haven't disclosed it, so I'm not party to it. But anyway, so what was my point of this? My point is, oh yeah, that would have cost me hundreds of pounds. And if I went and bought the full suite, like with Adobe Photoshop and all that kind of stuff, it's so expensive, it's ridiculous. So when someone offers you a cut price thing, whether it be the Windows 10 licenses or whether it be Office licenses or whatever it is, take them with open arms. Just take that deal and cherish it, because why not? You only live once. We haven't got money machines that just pump it out the wall. Well, banks have, we haven't. But I don't know, I'm probably in the same boat as you guys. I don't have an endless supply of cash. I don't have people just throwing money at me, so I have to earn my money or make my money. So if I've got to buy something, I want to buy it as cheap as I can. You know what I mean? Harry, is Office 365 worth it? Mike isn't sure what day it is. No, I'm not actually. It's all getting a bit much. I am actually starting to lose my mind a little bit. Is Office 365 worth it? Now, if you're buying it for £4 like I did off eBay, totally. How can it not be? You get Outlook, Access, Excel, Publisher, PowerPoint, Word, you name it. Anything in the Office suite you get. And you even get a terabyte of storage on OneDrive, like OneDrive Business. What is there not to like about that for £1 per PC? Or even if it's just you on your own, £4 to get all that, even if it lasts for a year. You break that down, 365 days a year, £4. That's costing you just over a penny a day. No, actually, no, it's £3.60 in it, so it's a penny a day. A penny a day to have full access to the Microsoft suite. And if you've ever used Outlook on a semi-professional or professional basis, you'll know how good that can be when you're dealing with multiple accounts, or you're sending and receiving lots of information and emails. Like today, on my PC, I've got my personal account, I've got another YouTube account, and I've got my Mikesunboxing account. So I'm pinging emails in and out, and because of using IMAP, Kath's got the same account set up on her computer, so we're both answering and responding to questions and emails and stuff, and Outlook's just taking care of it, and it's synchronizing, and it just does what it's supposed to do. It makes life so much easier. I don't know why I didn't buy one of these keys earlier, to be honest with you. It would have saved me a lot of aggro, because Microsoft Mail is an absolute abomination of a program, really. Fine for one email user, or if you've only got one account and you want to keep it simple, but as soon as you start adding accounts and stuff, it's just, oh god. Anyway, rant over. Definitely go and get it. If you can't find it, let me know and I'll send you some links to it so you can buy it, because I think everyone should. And I think the eBay seller that I was getting them from sells them like to anyone around the world, so if you want it, let me know. If you can't get it, send me some money and I'll buy it for you and pass it on to you. No, don't give me money, that's a bad idea. Right, Harry, I'm gonna think about it, as I have a load of coursework that I need Word, PowerPoint for. Yeah, totally. And See McKnight raises a good point. OpenOffice is all right, but no mail client. OpenOffice is actually good, but it depends what you're using it for. I know they've got really tight integration with XML formats and the OpenOffice formats and all that kind of thing, but every time I've created a PowerPoint in either PowerPoint. Oh my god, it's all getting too much. Yeah, whenever I've created a PowerPoint in PowerPoint, when I've tried to drag it into OpenOffice, into their presenter software, I believe it's called, and even saying that, on the Mac as well, if I've tried to take it from PowerPoint on a PC to PowerPoint on a Mac, there's always been an issue where it's gone slightly wrong, or there's not been the right formatting, or something's needed editing. And if you're doing a lot of PowerPoint slides, that's a real ball ache. I was doing PowerPoint slides with like 264 slides in, or thereabouts. So basically, if it didn't work properly, it was an absolute nightmare going to each slide, nudging a formula that way, or nudging a picture one way, moving some text the other way, or reformatting. Just isn't worth it. For the sake of £3.60 or £4 or whatever it is that you can get it for, just buy the Microsoft one. At least you know you've got like complete compatibility with kind of 90% of all the other users out there. Harry, that's a few more slides than I'll ever use. Well, you don't know at the moment, because actually, Harry, I forget how old you are.
Did you drive to KFC?
Did you drive to KFC? You never know. But there always comes that time that I never thought I'd do a PowerPoint with 264 slides. But it was, yeah. Normally I get away with 1 or 3. But I'll tell you actually what I used it for. I used it because I really struggle with Adobe Flash, and I tried animation in it and I just couldn't do it. So basically I used to make graphics for a well-known TV program, and I used to do it as PowerPoint slides. So I set up so that the keyboard mimicked the keys left and right, or spacebar, to advance the slide. So as they were typing, it looked like the letters were typing. So I'd take a picture, add a letter, take a picture, add a letter, take a picture. So basically, if someone was writing their resignation letter, they'd be typing, and each one of those letters was an individual PowerPoint slide timed to move to a key press. So that's why there's about 200 odd things, because sometimes they wrote really long letters. Hopefully that answers that for you.
You're 16.
No, if I was in America, then maybe, as I think it's 16 over there. Okay.
How did the results go?
Oh yeah, how did your results go? Kath just said.
GCSEs.
Oh, GCSEs, yeah. Or A-levels, potentially. Aletta, I think Office is too expensive. I do all my novel writing on Google Docs. Yeah, actually, I did use Google Docs for a little while. Well, I still do to some extent, because I was doing some stuff with some people at Xiaomi, and sorry, not Xiaomi, GearBest, and GearBest, all of their special offers and deals and upcoming stuff and promotions. They have this massive spreadsheet. Like, this is the mother of all spreadsheets, and I look at it and it just makes my eyes bleed. It's I think it's about. It's basically, it's a lot of pages and a lot of formulas and a lot of stuff on there, and yeah, that spreadsheet was mental. And that was done in Google Docs, so that all of kind of the YouTube influencers and partners and affiliates and all stuff could all gain access to it. And yeah, that was a phenomenal piece of kit, and the fact that everyone could access it really easily. I don't know if Microsoft have ever come in that close to providing that kind of service, where I guess SharePoint would be the kind of closest thing, but it wasn't as easy and not everyone could have it. But Google Docs is free, so, well, as long as you're only using up to a certain amount of data or whatever, then yeah. Although, on a security point of view, is Google Docs a good idea for security? That would raise a concern for me.
That's not concerned with security usually.
Yeah, I'm not really concerned with my own security, so that's why I would use it. But in your case, because you do have that kind of security-minded outlook, do you have any issues with Google having access and full access to whatever you've written, or is it password protected? We're thinking about, because there's, I don't know if you know this, but Google are getting massively fined because they're selling Google pictures that we've all taken and uploaded to our Google Drives they're actually selling them off to other companies as stills for publicity and stuff like that. There was a case recently in the UK where there was a holiday company and they bought some images from Google in all good faith, and it turned out it was someone's own private snaps. So that is a little bit worrying. And if they can do that with your pictures, sure as hell they can do it with your documents, so it might be a bit of a concern. LibreOffice as well. Yeah, LibreOffice is a kind of, I can never remember whether it is a spin-off of one or the other. So there was Apache, who originally made OpenOffice, I believe, or were something to do with OpenOffice, and then LibreOffice was kind of like a shoot off of that. So when they all went their own separate ways from Sun Microsystems, I think it was, wasn't it? Sun Microsystems, when they all kind of split and everyone went different ways, LibreOffice was one of those offshoots. And LibreOffice is probably a closer clone of the Microsoft software than OpenOffice is, which is, again, quite close. Letter has said, oh, Harry said, why do YouTube music pop-ups keep up? Is there no way of disabling it?
I had an advert.
No, I don't think you can.
I had an advert on it.
A lot of people are getting adverts. Basically, YouTube Red, as it was known before, the sort of pay subscription, which included music and stuff. Well, actually not so much music, but YouTube Red basically was the kind of ad-free version of YouTube. All well and good, very fine. You could pay for it and you monthly subscription, blah, blah, blah. You get access to their latest content as well. Now, YouTube Red is actually being phased out or dying off or whatever you want to call it. And also their YouTube Music service for streaming music or for watching streaming music. That's also come to an end. So now Google Music, or YouTube Music as it's called, is kind of like an amalgamation of YouTube Red and Google Music and all that kind of stuff all in one. So that's kind of like your one-stop shop. So if you pay for a subscription, you get access to all the music, you get ad-free viewing, and you get access to the new upcoming content which which Google are making, such as the things they were going to do with PewDiePie, etc. But they're not now because he's a dick. I just cast shade on PewDiePie. In fact, actually, just the fact that I said the words PewDiePie, and if I say it really slow, PewDiePie, then that'll pick up on the Google Translate thing that comes up at the bottom in the subtitles. So the fact that I've actually said PewDiePie again is going to put my rankings higher in YouTube. Weird. I should say it more. I think Google is shady. Oh, actually, what was I going to say? There was I went back to Oleta. I think Office is too expensive. Blah blah blah. No, I've read that one. Oleta. I made a few writing friends from the UK on Twitter and Google Docs. It makes it easy to share work and beta read each other. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, it is. Google Docs is literally so easy to use. If you've got Chrome installed, it's piece of cake. Is kind of baked into the browser. It's not really a browser anymore. It's more of an app or an app within apps. But yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, I completely agree. Google in general, actually, I know they are seen as this kind of overlord who are kind of trying to get our data and destroy us. But even from the very, very early days, now I am, as you are well aware, a complete Microsoft fanboy. And I've tried to use Bing as a search engine. I've tried to use MSN as a homepage. And I think that's actually the reason for my hair loss, because it's just awful. Like if you type in, what was it I typed in recently? I typed in something which is so obvious. And yet the first link that come up was a link to one of these like hacking sites. And it was like a well-known company or something. I think what it was is like the Register or something, like for computer news. I typed in and the first link at the top, which normally in Google, you type in the Register, click on the top one, boom, you're in. Homepage. But for some reason I clicked on it and it was like an advertised link and it took me into all kinds of weird stuff, and then I get these pop-ups saying your computer has a virus, contact this number. It's like, oh my god. So as much as I hate to say it, and it really chokes me up, but the Bing search engine is absolute pile of dog stuff, excrement. We don't like it at all. which is a shame because I really, really like Microsoft. And in fact, when the internet was first come out in the UK, I actually had an MSN subscription, which was the only way you could get online in those days, apart from, I'm trying to think who else was around. Probably FreeServe and companies like that. That's like how long ago it was AOL, where you got a disc on the front of a magazine. So that was, yeah, that was my little rant there. Sorry, do apologise. No, I don't think there's a way of getting rid of it, Harry. There's no way of disabling it because it's kind of baked in. They want to sell it. And
You did that one.
I was tempted to do the 1 month trial, but I don't really want to do it because some of the adverts I actually quite enjoy. What if for some reason they mess up and send an image to a company or someone who is nude or of a racist image? Yeah, it's probably only a matter of time from happening. You know, these things are happening with, at the moment, with YouTubers. We've got this thing that kind of the ad apocalypse again, which has happened again as it happened last year. One of the companies over in the UK and, well, around the world actually, I think was it Nestle? Mars, sorry, the Mars company. They do like chocolate and stuff. The Mars group of companies, there was an advert, one of their adverts was placed on a video of some rap guy doing drill music, is it?
Something like that.
I think it's drill music. You'd have to let me know in the comments if that's right. I think they call it drill music. But basically it's not aligning with their brand at all. So Google are basically going, right, there's a stack of adverts, just chuck them anywhere. Now we've had this before last time where companies were advertising and it wasn't aligning with brands, and you'd have thought they'd have learned their lesson because it's bad for the viewer, it's bad for the YouTuber, it's bad for everybody, it's bad for the advertiser. The only person who actually kind of profits initially is Google. And they're kind of so big now, it doesn't really matter if they profit or not because they are what they are. But yeah, they've it's a weird thing that you'd think that they've got algorithms on Google which can work out what you're going to do next by the way you move your hand for their focusing and stuff out on the cameras, or they can work out what you're going to say next, and that's the way auto text works. It kind of works in a predictive way, like auto text on a phone. So if they can do algorithms that can do that, surely they can work out from the content of a video roughly the kind of what it's aimed at, or the genre. And if companies have got like a kiddie brand or a light-hearted brand, you don't associate your product with that. You wouldn't have like an advert for, I don't know, Friday the 13th horror next to kind of like a kid's Play-Doh YouTube video, would you? It's just common sense, really. But hey, another rant over. No doubt it'll happen all again. There is a search engine called Dogpile. Yes, there is. I do remember that. I think that was do they still go? Are they still about, Dogpile? Kath, open a tab. Can you go to Dogpile anymore? I bet it still exists.
I hate this search engine. What's this?
Kath's using Edge, so she's never going to get it.
I hate that.
If she types in Dogpile in Edge, we're in trouble.
New keyboard.
Oh yeah, you can probably hear Kath clicking away there. That's on the new Rio Toro keyboard and Rio Toro mouse, which is very clicky, very nice actually. A Dogpile. So Dogpile still exists. Wow, I haven't seen that for years. There's some nostalgia right there, kids. Now another one that we used to use back in the day, Aletta's probably going to remember this as well because I think we're possibly of a similar age. There was one called Alta Vista, which actually was a really good search engine back in the day. Let's have a look at some. Also, browser add-ons is one of the easiest ways to get a virus. Yeah, I know what you mean there.
That's because you don't use Chrome.
Hi Tuscany, is it still your birthday? Tuscany, Mike, do you hear me? I hear you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Tuscany. Happy birthday to you. There you go, that's for you. Mike, do you hear me? Yes, I do. I first heard of Google on chips with everything. Oh, on chips with everything. I get it. One word. When Yahoo and Alta Vista were the main search engines. Yeah, Yahoo was also quite a good one. I remember the adverts. Yahoo! These were quite cool. What other search engines were around? There must have been another one. There's AOL, because they had their own homepage, landing page thing. Who else had one? Alta Vista, Dogpile, MSN, or MSNBC it was then. Or MSNBC. One of the two. Ask Jeeves, yes. Ask Jeeves. Are they still going as well? Kath's gonna have a look now. There's the new keyboard and mouse, everybody. Kath's demonstrating. She's upset now.
Yeah. It's ask.com.
Oh yeah, there's ask.com.
That is Ask Jeeves.
Oh, Ask Jeeves has become ask.com. Tuscany Valley, do you remember AOL dial-in? Yes, I do.
I was in labour.
I dislike AOL. It's awkward trying to contact them for support. Yeah, cool. That was one of the biggest, well, I want to say F up, but I'm not going to say it because it affects my rankings probably. But yeah, the buyout by Time Warner to buy AOL. They bought AOL for some crazy amount. I think it was like 86 billion pounds or something along those lines, or dollars, or whatever it may be. Maybe someone can look it up quickly and put it in the comments. But yeah, Time Warner bought AOL for a ridiculous amount of money, and then basically they just died. Really, I don't think I know anybody who actually uses AOL anymore. Actually, it's a lie. I have one friend who uses AOL as his email address, but I don't think he actually uses AOL as a service. He's just basically got their email address and has kept hold of it. Paul. Paul, if you're watching, I've just told everyone you've got an AOL account. But he is something of a Luddite, so he's basically been given that years and years ago, and he's kind of carried it through to this day. Although he might even be related to who he works for. But hey, I don't know. Do you remember AOL dial-in? Yes, I do. I actually really miss the sound of a dial-up modem. That kind of, the handshake it does on the telephone before it gets connected. There's something actually quite nostalgic about that. I noticed on, who's the YouTuber? Gamers Nexus. Gamers Nexus, at the end of their videos, when they do their kind of, their logo, you can hear the dial-up music, and it kind of, I like that. Very reminiscent. CompuServe and Demon Internet. Wow. FreeServe killed AOL in the UK. Yes, they definitely did. And then FreeServe got completely nailed when they sold out to Orange. Shame actually, FreeServe was good. I remember going into PC World and getting my FreeServe dial-up CD for, I think you had to buy it, didn't you? Didn't you have to buy the FreeServe disc for £1?
I paid 20 quid for that Messages one.
Yeah, you did have to pay a lot of money back then, didn't you? You have to pay for your subscription plus your line rental. Oh, those were the days. Before I knew my way around computers, I used to pop the AOL CD to fix my internet problems. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because you put in your AOL CD, put in your username and password, and I think it would then rewrite all your settings and add a new dial-up account. And you'd have like dial-up account 1, dial-up account 2, dial-up account 3, and then every now and then you'd mess up your settings and you'd set it to the wrong one, so you'd be trying to dial your internet connection and it'd be dialing an old one and it wouldn't connect, and you'd be like, no internet! Tuscany, you mean that man girl hair Steve? Yes.
What's that?
Steve from Gamers Nexus, the guy with the hair. Kath doesn't like Steve very much. She thinks his voice is very monotone and boring.
Especially, no, is that
because he's been doing his moving blog
No,
recently.
that's not him. That's the other one I do. It's Monologue. The one that buys all that old stuff off eBay.
Oh, sorry, no, she's referring to Random Gaming in HD. She doesn't like him either.
No,
Whereas I quite do. I think he's quite good.
I
But
think he just over-tested his mic, yes, for his soundproof.
yeah, oh yeah, that was it. Gamers Nexus. If you watched their moving blog, there was a video. I think it was yesterday or the day before where Steve was testing the acoustics in the room.
Wasn't testing them.
Oh my god! I had to stop watching it and fast forwarding it, and I actually fast forwarded it about 3 or 4 times, and he was saying the same thing every time I fast forwarded it. It's like testing, Gamers Nexus, blah blah. It's like, oh my god! Like, this is a 10-minute video. What are you trying to do? I know some people are interested in that stuff, but really? Right, but no, I've got a lot of love for the Steve. I wish I had his hair. I could have a ponytail. Imagine that. Tuscany, don't diss the tech Jesus. Yeah, he is a tech Jesus. In fact, if him and Linus get together and they kind of swapped Linus's feet with the rest of Steve, then they probably would be closer to Jesus than anyone has ever come before. Collab Random Gamer. Harriet, I'm confused. To see recent messages in the chat, I have to close it and open it. I think it's on my end.
His messages aren't appearing.
Alright, yeah, I get that sometimes. Internet's a weird thing. And if you're using Chrome as a browser, it's even weirder. Tuscany Valley. Collab with Random Gamer. Is that what you mean? Do a collaboration with Random Gamer? Actually, I would love to do a collaboration with a YouTuber in a kind of how good a PC you can get for a certain budget. Pretty much like Scrapyard Wars, but in the UK. I would love to do that against somebody in the UK. So if anyone's watching this and they fancy challenging me to a budget build, I will lay out some ground rules and stuff like that, but if anyone of you out there want to challenge me to it, to do a bargain build or a basement new build, second-hand build, whatever it may be, I am totally up for that. And I throw this gauntlet down. That is the challenge. If you want to do it, bring it on. I'm quite happy to do it. I like Random Gaming HD and Budget Builds Official. Well, yeah, Budget Builds Official. I think I've seen them. They're pretty cool. To be honest, Dimitri is better than Gamers Nexus, and Gamers Nexus is better than Linus, in my opinion. Yeah, Tuscany Valley. I want to do a Scrapyard Wars with someone. Tuscany, if you have a... actually, is that necessary? Yeah, I suppose really you would have to have a YouTube channel.
No,
I wonder if there's some way you could do it where you do it from your neck of the woods and I'll do it with my neck of the woods with the equivalent cash values and see how we get on. Maybe something to think about. Should ask Budget Builds. He has done several challenges. I don't know if I've seen his channel actually. Was it Budget Builds?
official.
Budget Builds Official. Look him up, Kath. We'll tell him that the viewers have requested it. And I've got to challenge him. Should be interesting. I probably have seen his channel before now because before I started doing YouTube, I actually watched a lot of YouTube. A lot. That really won't be fun. You never know. For a £5. We have better deals and we don't use pounds. True, but we could equalise it out exchange rate wise. You never know.
He's been going after us.
Dimitri.
He's been going after us. March 2017.
I bet he's got millions of subs.
111,000.
When I started this channel, we had nothing more than a comment on a video and a 25p graphics card. There was no
Happy days.
scripts, and well, the video frankly wasn't very good.
We have better deals than we use pounds. Oh, this is stopping. Yeah, Harry, I think you're right. Actually, there is a really big disparity between the prices that you guys pay over there for parts and here. Although I do tend to watch Linus, and when he does his scrapyard wars and stuff like that, their prices that they pay in Canada seem massively inflated again. I don't know if that is the case. I don't really follow the exchange rates, but they seem to be paying an awful lot of money for stuff, especially when they go out and buy a PC for like $2,000, and it's like, that's not really that great a PC. Harry, what do you think is the most budget you can go? Well, that depends on a lot of things.
That one was good.
It depends what the kind of the outlook is, or what you're trying to do. If you're just trying to build the cheapest PC, or get the cheapest possible PC that you can, I don't know, maybe play CSGO on, for instance, or write an email, or run Crisis, is a very kind of shiftable goalpost. I would say the cheapest PC that could run Counter-Strike, CSGO, you'd probably struggle to do it for less than probably £30, maybe 40. 30 or 40 pounds you could play CSGO, I think, at a push. If it's something else like Crisis, then you're going to need a better graphics card, so again, the price goes up. But it depends what you want to do it for. If you set a goal and then set a budget, then that's a little bit easier to do. But yeah, not too sure.
That one you saved for that one, didn't
Yeah,
you?
the PC, actually that one there behind me, that I built, that was for Cath originally, but then it ended up being the streaming PC because of the processor in it. That one was a mental value. That was, it's got a Ryzen 7 1700, that was £100. The case, that's a Define C TG, I got that for £30. What else is in there? The RAM wasn't great, I don't think. No, tell a lie, the RAM was the same as this, the Vengeance. These sticks of Vengeance DDR, they're 8 gigs each, these sticks, and I picked them up for £35, which was a awesome deal because they're still retailing now for about £60–70, so half price. What else have we got in there? The motherboard was a pretty good deal. That was an Amazon warehouse deal again. That was really cheap. And the graphics card, GTX 970. Although I know it's hard to tell that it's not an RX 280 Ti, but that card was £120, which is a pretty good deal. And the power supply that's in there is the, you probably can't see it from over there, but it's the G750M from Cooler Master, semi-modular. That was £30, I think. Oh, and the cables, the black and white cable mods from Shack Mods. There's 8-pin, 24-pin, and I've got another 8-pin for the graphics card as well. I picked up all of those for £10. So that PC there, some serious bargains that have happened in there. I'm sure there's something else in there actually, which was really cheap. I can't think what it is. No, can't think. But yeah, that was virtually half price from the retail prices, or from current retail prices anyway. So yeah, that was a good deal. I like the GPU in that system, RTX 2080 Ti. Yeah, just had it shipped in from Cologne, wherever, Germany. They shipped it straight in, and I put it straight in. I was going to do an unboxing, but I thought I just need to play some ray tracing games on it. New Linus doesn't care about PC hardware that much. Yeah, I like Linus because I've kind of been interested in his channel since pretty much when he started. So I feel like I've followed him through. But it's entertaining when they do stuff like spray paint a PC or take apart a graphics card, or the kind of crazy stuff they do. But then I think it also offends a lot of people as well, because there's people like me, and probably like some of you guys out there, that actually really, really love computer hardware and components, and would be over the moon to have half of the kit, well, any of the kit that he's got just at his general disposal. Oh yeah, he has worked hard for it, and I don't think there's anyone out there that could say that he hasn't, because he has built up that entire company from basically being in the right place at the right time. He's been the one who's kind of guided that entire Linus Media Group forward. So kudos to him. He's done a fantastic job, and he's earning the rewards. He's probably one of the more highly regarded tech tubers on YouTube, and YouTube and him have quite a special relationship due to that fact. So his videos are always going to get out to there. As long as he doesn't slip up and do something stupid, he's set now for as long as he wants to do it, really. Tuscany, I think you did a bad word. We should be having words, not that word.
What did he say?
Yes, the RAM was exceptionally cheap. Does the ray tracing on the RX 2080 add 20 frames per second to Steam?
To the stream.
Oh, add 20 frames per second. Yes, funnily enough, it does. In fact, if I do another close-up, you'll notice how fast the stream becomes. There we go. How's that for some subsonic streaming, courtesy of the GTX 1020 8090 GTI TI XP ting. Whoa, that was insane. Yeah, it's like super fast. I thought you'd like it. Right guys, I think that's pretty much it. We've been on here now for just over 2 hours, so unless there's any really quick questions that anyone wants to boosh in there quickly. Harry, I want a GT TI XP90. Available soon at a retail store near you.
See him at night.
See him at night, wow, I must spend on one right now. Well, I'm actually doing a discount on that particular model, being it's shop soiled and X display. So if you want it, only $999.99 plus shipping. No takers?
It's a bit delayed then.
Wow, I just noticed actually, I'm watching the screen over the far side there. I've only just seen the turbo. Hang on.
No.
How can it be? Because they've just done it there. What the hell? Calf, what are you doing? She's rewinding the stream, so it's buffering.
It buffered.
Harry, I'm tired. Don't know what the day this. Yeah, I couldn't have put it better myself. Yes, it's been a long day. Again, thank you to everybody who's joined us for this. This has been the actually, Kath, how many subscribers have we got up to this very minute? Because it's now midnight here in the United Kingdom. Well, 11:59. So. Don't know if you can see that. It's not easy doing the keyboard switch thing to change the cameras. Oh, that's not bad. So today we hit our target of 4,000 subscribers. Well, it's not really our target, but it's a nice round number. And currently we are sitting on Calf, squinting at the keyboard. We are currently hitting 4,005 subscribers. 4,005 subscribers, so only another 900,900. Basically, yeah, there's quite a few more to go, but we'll get there in the end, sooner or later. I may have to collaborate with Budget Gaming Dude, or Random Gaming in Budget Builds, one or the other.
You thought we hadn't hit it?
So close to 4K. What? My stuff hasn't updated. It says 3.9 for me. No, we've turned 4,000 today, which is nice, especially on Tuscany's birthday. So once again, many happy returns, Tuscany. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day or evening or whatever the time difference is over there. Thanks to everyone who's contributed. So we've got C. McKnight, we've got Aletta, Harry, who else is it? Tony, Adam, Leroy, the Sante, I think, was on here earlier. If I've left you out, I do apologise, but it's been really good to catch up with you all guys. Nice of you to join me for this 4K subscriber kind of update and a quick unboxing of some of these bits. Don't forget, if you are available on Friday, 9 PM GMT, going to do another live stream Friday night. Don't forget to bring a beer. We'll be having a beer and I'll hopefully be giving you some up-to-date details on the system I've built and give you a good tour of it and see how it's gone and basically, yeah, how much it's cost me in the end. So, thanks again, everybody. Don't forget to smash the like button. Try not to use that button. If you've got any comments, stick them in there. But in the meantime, I've been Mike, that's been Kath, and this has been Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. Good night.